Okay. Got one more to do for this. She's new. Mamie Peanut Johnson.
One of the great nicknames in Negro Leagues baseball history, and there were some great nicknames, belong to one of the three women who called the Negro Leagues home. My dear friend, the late, great Mamie Peanut Johnson.
My love, we used to move you.
And she was a pitcher in the Negro Leagues with a strong right arm. She earned that nickname when the Monarchs' leadoff hitter looked out and said, "How you expect to get anybody out? You ain't no bigger than a peanut." She was only 5'3", and she promptly struck him out.
You're out.
And she was Peanut from that day on. Born in 1935 in Ridgeway, South Carolina, Mamie Peanut Johnson had always loved the game of baseball. Bish Tyson, who had seen Mamie own the sandlots there in South Carolina, who thought that she had a little extra something, and he encouraged her to give it a chance to try to play pro baseball. And so she took him up on this and ultimately landed a tryout with the Indianapolis Clowns, the same Indianapolis Clowns team that the legendary Henry Aaron began his career. And of course, by that time, the Clowns had already hired Toni Stone, the first female to play regularly in a male professional baseball league there with the Indianapolis Clowns. And Mamie makes the team, and history would be made, becoming the first female pitcher in professional baseball.
So bases loaded, go ahead run on first with 2 away, and Peanut Johnson trying to escape this jam. That one finds the zone. That's strike one. Got him. Peanut Johnson gets the K and escapes with the lead intact.
5'3". You got to throw the ball up to get some speed. Strike out one play. Strike one batter, do not get run, do not walk one batter, do not hit a batter.
Stepping in, James Turner.
Peanut Johnson was obsessed with baseball from a young age. She said, "I must have been born with a baseball in my hand." She used to play using a rock wrapped in sticky tape as a ball. Anything to play baseball.
Yeah, that drops in for a strike. Chris, when Bish Tyson offered Peanut a tryout with the Clowns, he'd been scouting her for 3 weeks. The clincher, she threw a complete game shutout against adult men, and she was just 16 years old. Got him swinging. Eli Mason now at the plate. And first offering is fouled off.
It wasn't easy for Peanut playing for the Clowns. The uniforms were shin-length flannel, and when she sweated, it would get heavy and cling to her skin. She said, "I felt like a big wet dog in a heavy blue coat."
Strike 3, and that's 2 in a row. 2 down, bases empty. Carl Glass, the next to hit. Not even close there. Ball 1.
No, that's low. Ball. Oh, yeah.
2 down, nobody on. Swings through the fastball up in the zone. Fouls that off to the left, and we'll do it again. Here's a 2-2. Gets a piece there. We'll do it again. Good battle here. About to be the 8th pitch of the at-bat. Chop back up the middle. Hartman gets it to first. That ends the frame. Back now at Rickwood Field. Bottom half of inning number 2. Sandy Murray getting ready to hit.
Nope, that's outside. Ball. That's a ball. Yeehaw! Hit!
Here's the 2-2. Swings through it, and that's a strikeout. So up next, Tom Hayes. And that's through there for a strike. It's 0-1. This one chopped on the ground, but foul. 0-2 now. Fights it off. He'll see another. The 0-2 from Johnson. Swing and a miss. And that's 4 strikeouts. So digging in, Sam Hughes.
Hard work.
Two down, nobody on. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. And she strikes out the side here in the second.
Lessons from Leroy.
Me being the only woman pitcher out there, hey, that made me know that you are better in this than a whole lot of other people.
Yeah.
Mamie Johnson was a deceptively hard-throwing pitcher. I think that's what surprised a lot of the fellas, because you see this woman and you don't think that she can get it up there, and she got it up there in a hurry. But she also had a great repertoire of pitches, including, along with that fastball, a slider, circle change, and she'd even break off a screwball every now and then. And of course, she learned her curveball from the legendary Leroy Satchel Paige. She posted an incredible 33-8 record over her tenure with the Indianapolis Clowns. I know it's eye-raising, but it's true. And she would often talk about also earning the respect of the fellas. They didn't treat her like a woman playing on the team with them. They treated her like a ball player. And that was, for her, a tremendous badge of honor that went along with a tremendous record that she was able to post while playing in the Negro Leagues.
Okay. You see, but she in the office. She must have missed a picture. Those short ass. I walk better, do not go run, do not hit a better.
All right, first pitch coming up. Now it's the shortstop. And that's how this game gets started.
We've talked before about what it meant for Jackie Robinson to integrate the majors. Well, 15-year-old Mamie Johnson was watching on TV when he got his first hit. She said her spine was tingling like a bat hit hard with a blazing fastball.
Hit weakly on the ground. Sends it across to first, and an easy out to start the game. Here's the third baseman, Francis Sutter.
Ball.
When Peanut joined the Clowns for her first training camp, she proved herself by winning her first game. She said, "I knew and my teammates knew that I belong." 1-1 now. Foul ball there. 1-2 now. Swings and misses, struck him out. 2 outs, base is empty. Clyde Armstrong getting ready to hit. High fly ball lifted in the air right field. And that is that.
All right. I like the Clowns jersey.
So 2 down. Here's the second baseman, Peanut Johnson.
We got Tony Stone, Peanut Johnson. He's the third girl.
Ripped, but it curls foul. The 0-1.
Peanut Johnson was breaking barriers way before she joined the Clowns, Boog. When she was 10, she was the first black kid and only girl to play for the Police Athletic League team in her town in New Jersey. Nobody could touch her fastball.
And that'll do it.
Plays for Power Leagues, huh?
Out of the fourth, stepping in, Peanut Johnson. Swing and a ball hit out towards left center field. This looks like extra bases. Around first, heading for 2. In safely. It's a double and her second hit.
People wanted to see Mamie Peanut Johnson take the mound. The word had started to spread about this tiny woman who was throwing this blazing fastball and getting these guys out. And so people wanted to naturally see this kind of phenomenon. She drew a huge fan base. Now, was the Clowns motivated by that? Of course they were. It certainly had a marketing slant to it. But what in business doesn't have a marketing slant? But it doesn't diminish the women's ability. Not only was Mamie Johnson a standout pitcher, she was an outstanding utility player. She would oftentimes fill in at second base. She could field her position. Obviously, she had a great arm at that position because she was already pitching. And of course, she could hit. The records kind of reflect somewhere between 260 and 285 over her playing career, which made her more than just a novelty. It made her a ball player.
Two outs, bases full. Taylor getting ready to hit. Comebacker to the mound. Peanut fields.
Oh, shit.
And no throw for some reason as he reaches first. So bases all loaded up. Teddy Taylor will hit next. Comebacker to the mound. Peanut fields.
Oh, that's a little bit off.
Pulls him off the bag, and he's sick. All loaded up. Teddy Taylor now at the plate. Comebacker to the mound. Peanut fields. Fires over to first. Out number 3, and the Clowns escape the jam. So runners at the corners, nobody out. Sam Little will hit next. On the corner at the knees for a strike.
It wasn't enough for Peanut Johnson to break barriers as the only woman ever to pitch at a major league level. During her years playing for the Clowns, she also studied medicine and engineering at New York University.
Fights it off. He'll see another. Here's a 1-2. And it's fouled off. They'll do it again. You know, after her playing career, Mamie put that education in medicine to use as a registered nurse, and she did that for the rest of her life. The switch hitting catcher will come up to hit. Walter Smith. Edge of his zone for a strike. 0-1.
You know, when Monet Davis pitched in the Little League World Series in 2014, Peanut was in the stands. They'd actually met a couple of years earlier. Davis calls Peanut one of her biggest inspirations.
Willie Burns now at the plate.
Ball 1.
Ooh.
2 on, 2 outs.
Hey.
One and 2 here. Out number 3, and what a job by Peanut Johnson as she gets Indy out of the inning, still leading 6-5. Bottom 9. Here's the left fielder, Leo Sanders. Right through there for a strike. Swings and misses, struck him out. That's the first slider we've seen today, and it was almost unfair. Newman now in the box, comes up empty with a swing there. That pitch gets the inside corner. 0-2. And a swing and a miss. And now Peanut needs just one more out to lock down this win for the Clowns. Bradley at the plate with 2 away, swings through that one.
Nope. Ball 1.
Crowd locked in right now. 1-run game here in the 9th. Ball game. Peanut Johnson slams the door for Indianapolis.
If you're familiar with the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League, that was the league that was the inspiration for the hit film A League of Their Own. Mamie was denied an opportunity to try out because of the color of her skin and the belief that black did not represent beauty. But as fate would have it, she would get an even better opportunity to compete with and against the men in the Negro Leagues with the Indianapolis Clowns. But if you ever saw that film, you might recall one scene near the end of the film where the ball kind of gets loose when they're practicing and this black lady is walking by and she picks it up and she fires it back in and everybody's astounded at how hard she threw the ball. Well, the late, great Penny Marshall directed that film. That was her tribute to Mamie Peanut Johnson.
Baseball gave me a sense of responsibility. I learned to be somebody.
Mamie Peanut Johnson epitomizes the kind of athlete that called the Negro Leagues home. You see, there's been this misnomer that these athletes were vagabonds, tramps, hobos, illiterate. That's not true. Mamie Peanut Johnson studied at NYU, and Mamie Peanut Johnson would have a 3-decade-long career in nursing, helping others, taking care of others. That is what made Mamie Johnson not just a standout baseball player, but a standout human being. That is why her story is such a powerful, prominent story that we are proud to share at the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum.
Coming up on the first pitch, here's the second baseman. Peanut Johnson kicks and delivers to start this ball game. And we're underway here this afternoon. Strike two.
Well, as a player, nothing means more to you than the respect of your peers. For Peanut Johnson, her Clowns teammates became like 26 big brothers to her and Tony Stone. They really held her in high regard.
Outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. In 1999, Peanut founded the They Played Baseball Foundation, a nonprofit focused on teaching the game to kids. It also educated them on the history of the Negro Leagues and encouraged good schoolwork. Next to hit, Walter Smith. Swing and a miss as he was late. Keeps the at-bat going with a foul ball. The 0-2 from Johnson. Swing and a ground ball up the middle. Slings to first. 2 gone now, and Peanut is in full control so far in the hill. Monte West stands in now and watches strike 1. That catches the top part of the zone. No balls, 2 strikes. Two down, nobody on. And it's 3 up, 3 down for Peanut Johnson and the Clowns.
Not Gillen jersey. All right. Papa Bill. Finish this